I can't believe I've got the BWR Tag Team of the Year, the guys who have conquered BWR, North Wrestling, NGW. Reece, is there anywhere else you've not conquered yet?
We've conquered Morecambe, I guess, with the tag champs there.
Rogan,
Fight
anywhere else?
Factory.
Fight Factory.
Fight Factory in Lincoln.
The only
And now
two
we're
tag
sat in our
champions
dressing
there.
gown with a blanket.
Basically, what we're saying is, guys, these guys have absolutely conquered absolutely everywhere. So we're gonna have a nice little, obviously, chat with obviously R&R, and let's, do you know what? Intern, roll the intro. And welcome to
That's a pretty
episode
sick intro,
131. Sorry, what?
That's a pretty sick intro, that. I wasn't expecting all the rigging and the lights. Imagine if you had the rigging in the Brit Rest. The lighting would be better on the footage, wouldn't it?
Anyway, it's time for an original, guys. I mean, sorry about that. Dear. I'm obviously joined by probably one of my favourite tag teams, obviously, in the UK scene right now. Rogan, I'll obviously start with you, my friend. How's the week been?
It's been pretty laid back compared to the weekend. After the weekend of being so busy and travelling and not seeing your family, waking up straight away, packing your suitcase and back out the door. It's been nice to just have a week of a bit of normality before the weekend rolls on again and we go yet again. But I wouldn't prefer it any other way.
Of course. And so, has it been like a nice little chilled week for you then, realistically?
Yeah, I'm just trying to heal up. Like my body feels bad for a few days. I was telling Reece, like I feel like I've been hit by a bus. Trying to keep up with all them athletes. There's a lot of incredible athletes out there now, and just trying to keep up with them guys and be on par and prove that we belong. Every time we walk through the curtain now, I feel like we're purposely got a bit of a chip on our shoulder. We're trying to push ourselves and we're not taking it easy, if that makes sense. We really want to get to that next level. So, yeah, we feel bad the day after. But, again, I wouldn't have it any different.
We'll get him back on, guys. Reece, what about you? How's your week been? Oh, his audio's gone. Audio's gone. His audio's gone again. Nothing.
Reece gone quiet.
He's gone quiet again.
Of course he has. Classic Reece here.
This is what happens when you're live, guys. So, you know what I mean? We'll roll with it. We'll have some fun, right?
How's your week been? How's your week been?
It's been all right, mate. Like obviously, typical, obviously, work week and stuff. Obviously, podcasting last week. We're obviously at a wrestling show next week. So, yeah, always busy, keeping busy. So I'm pretty much like you guys, minus the wrestling side.
What do you do for your shoe job?
So I work for obviously like a recycling company. So we deal obviously with like the IT side of stuff.
Oh, sick! It's pretty good that you're trying to keep up with the planet. The planet's destroying itself, so it's good that someone's trying to look after it.
Yeah, it's kind of technology is always moving forward. So even being in the company obviously for like 10 years, it's just so technology's changing all the time. So you're always learning. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%, mate. Like, look at us trying to do this podcast now. I mean, Reece doesn't know what's going on with technology. Neither do I, to be fair. I can upload a picture on social media, but that's about it.
And look who's in the comments, weirdly enough. Sweet Stevie Aaron says, "Hello, chaps. Good start. Hope you're well."
Oh, classic Stevie, yeah. Great start.
Nice little comment there for Stevie for you.
Stevie's always been supportive. Not enough praise for Stevie. I mean, he's a British legend, isn't he? I mean, everyone knows him.
Very, very popular guy. Reece, can you hear us all right?
Yep, I'm back. Can you hear me
awesome.
okay?
Yep, I can absolutely hear you fine. So yeah, I would just say,
Lovely.
mate, obviously, how's your week been, obviously, as well, from your side?
Yeah, I was just saying, like Rogan said, we had a really busy weekend, so it was nice to have like a chilled week up to now. I said that we had BWR on Saturday along with Wrestling Newcastle, so that was pretty hectic getting there and back. And then we had Wrestle Carnival on Sunday. So yeah, busy weekend, it's a nice chilled weekend, and looking forward to the weekend ahead.
Yeah, now you mentioned obviously you had to drive from obviously Newcastle to obviously the BWR. Was that a hectic drive?
Oh, yeah, like the Wrestling Newcastle show started at 4:30, then the BWR show started at 7, and it's like nearly a 3-hour drive. So yeah, it was I have really bad anxiety around times as well. So like, it was just an anxiety-driven day, and it was just it wasn't great, but won't have it any other way.
There we go. There we go. And obviously, Rogan, I mean, what about you? Obviously, getting to BWR, was it pretty hectic for you as well?
So yeah, I don't drive, so Reece, bless him, had to do pretty much all the driving. But yeah, I mean, for me, it wasn't the anxiety of making it on time. It was more giving people like Robbie X the match they deserve, trying to keep up with the likes of Robbie X. And you don't want to let anyone down, especially your opponent or your tag team partner. So making it there on time, I trusted that Reece was going to get us there, but it was just more, can we hang with the likes of Robbie X? And I mean, I don't want to like big ourselves up or anything, but for a 20-minute match, second match of the day, I'd like to think we did pretty well. So I'm proud of ourselves and what we was able to achieve that weekend.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, obviously today, guys, obviously about you, obviously. So we've got obviously loads of stuff to obviously go through. I say this to everyone who I interview. If there's anything I ask which you don't feel comfortable talking about, you just say next question and we move on. A lot of people obviously are very open, but I've just got to ask this anyway because you just never know, right?
Yeah, feel free to ask us anything. I'm sure if there's anything we don't like, we'll just do what Reece did and mute the screen and log off.
I wish that was a choice. But no,
yeah,
like Rogan said, we are both pretty open about pretty much everything in our lives, kind of thing. So we don't hold back, and we've got pretty thick skin as well.
Of course. So Sweet Stevie Arnold obviously start this off. He says, haha, cheers, guys. I wasn't familiar with the Casino Brutal on Saturday. Any thoughts on working with these guys or working with the people for the first time? I presume he might be meaning Robbie X.
No, he's on about our opponents at Newcastle, where Stevie was the ring announcer.
Okay.
I feel like Casino, I don't know what they was expecting from us. It'd be good to know what they was expecting from us. But there was a few moments where I think they was trying to be like funny, portray their personalities. But because we're so opposite as a tag team and as people, I don't think they was expecting anything as aggressive as what they got. And unfortunately, it worked in our favour, but not theirs because we got our hands raised. But yeah, those poor lads got chopped up a little bit. Both really nice lads. I would happily work with them again. It's a shame that we wasn't able to really talk to them because it was really in and out. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me, I'd like to have have a hectic day and spent more time and just get to know them a little bit better as people as well. Like they seem like real nice lads, and I'd love to work them again.
There you go. There you go. So obviously we talked about obviously BWR. Now last year you was obviously voted as the tag team of the year. I mean, what's that like for you guys personally?
For me, it was accomplishment. 11 months as the champions. It's just something that it's like it proves that whatever we're doing must be working. Because I think every performer and people in general have self-doubt. They get in their own heads. They think they should be doing more. And even though we were champions, we still wanted more. We still wanted to keep proving to ourselves and those around us that we want more. We want to keep doing more. And they keep giving us these big stars to work. And I'm just really proud of what we was able to do at BWR alongside Miles. And I hope, even though we are no longer the tag team champions, this year I'm looking to do exactly the same thing and be tag team of the year. Champions or no champions, we're going to be chasing our second title reign. We're going to be working harder than we ever have. We're not going to slow down now. It's only going to motivate us to yet again become tag team champions
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
for me, like Rogan said, being voted the best tag team in BWR is like a big accomplishment with the big names that are there, and they chose us to be like the best tag team of the year. Like it's just there's nothing better than that. So you've reached the pinnacle. But like Rogan said, we do want to keep fairing ourselves and get better and work all these big names. So yeah, like there's no slowing down just yet.
There you go. There you go. So obviously, you just mentioned Miles there. Now you obviously Miles obviously in NGW and BWR. What's it like obviously working with Miles?
Miles
For
is
me,
great,
me
man.
and Miles. Go on, Reece. Take it away, mate. Me
Like,
and Miles.
Miles is great. Miles is going to be an absolute star. Like he's got so much potential, and getting to work with Miles, just learning from him, and I like to hope that he could learn something from us as well. Like Miles, yeah, Miles is great.
Yeah, me and Miles go back like a long time. When he was just starting out and he was helping out on the camps, there was a few times that I came down and I helped out on the camps, and he had already helped out, and he had already been there and spent a few days, and he just showed me like, hey, look, here's what you want to do when you're starting out. Miles may be a young guy, but he's got a veteran head on him. He's got a really good mindset. He knows what he wants to do, what he wants to achieve, what he can achieve. And all he needs is that opportunity, because every time he steps through that curtain, everyone turns their head. And they know, like, this is a star. It's just a matter of time. He'll get there, literally just a matter of time. But yeah, it's been a learning experience for us. He might not know it, but we learn a lot just being around him. We learn. So I can't say enough nice things.
Yeah, and obviously you know him obviously in NGW as well. Is it the same approach obviously from a BWR show to an NGW show? Because I know NGW show is very family orientated.
Yeah, so
Yeah, like
the whole idea.
The stable is still like the same dynamic. Like Miles is the guy to be, but the people who want to get to Miles got to get through us first. Like we're just his henchmen. Like they've got to win the way through us to get to Miles.
For me, it's not really a gimmick. It's this new gen. It's not just a cool little trio name. It's a mentality. It's something that really is happening. British wrestling is changing. There is new people coming in and old people who are still there. They're not necessarily getting pushed out, but they're having to work harder because these new people are coming up. This new gen mentality of us and Miles, we're just saying like, hey, look, we're new on the scene, and we've paid our dues. We want we want to work hard. We want what's ours now, and we're not just gonna wait our turn. We're gonna take over if you like it or not. Pay attention now because we're working as hard as we can.
Awesome. Reece, obviously the other name, obviously New Gen as well, is obviously Vusic. A lot of people speak highly, obviously, of him as well. What's he obviously like backstage?
Vrusic's lovely. Like he keeps himself to himself a lot of the time, but he's like us. He's a new generation coming through, and he's just as eager to break through, just as eager as we are. Like I can't say enough good things about Vusic either. Like the crop of talent coming through at the minute is so good, especially like our new gen faction. Like we're all after the same stuff. We're all keeping the guys on the toes who were there before us, without disrespecting them, but we are coming for their spot, and because we deserve their spot.
Awesome. Rogan, about you with Vusic?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Like he's a different person. He's a different personality. He's his own individual. It's hard to describe Vusic. Like you say, he's different. I'll just say that he's a unique individual.
Okay. Now, obviously, the one promotion we spoke about before we came on the air is obviously North Wrestling. Now, Reece, sadly, you have to obviously pull out a show or something. Obviously, I didn't even know until you mentioned it. Go ahead.
So yeah, as we had the conversation beforehand, like obviously I'm type 1 diabetic, so obviously that plays a big part in my life, in my personal life as well. And yeah, like we got the booking for North, and like kind of blew us away because we kind of didn't expect it. But unfortunately, I had to pull from the show because due to my diabetes, I've got a couple of blood vessels in the back of my eye what needed lasering. But before they could get lasered, one of them started bleeding. So unfortunately, I had to pretty much do nothing for like a couple of months until all the blood came out of my eye, and I got it eventually lasered. But yeah, like now we're back rocking and rolling again now. So yeah, all that's kind of in the past, and I hope it stays there now, and hope like we don't get none of that anymore in the future. But just got to look after myself, my diabetes, and things like that. So.
And how challenging is that, obviously, for you? Obviously, we said before the air, but you can obviously mention it on the air. Is how challenging is it for you being a wrestler?
So it can be quite demanding as being a wrestler. Like if my bloods are high or low, I've got to be very careful because if they are high or low, it kind of makes me feel like real lethargic, and I'm just not myself. Especially when we're planning a match, like when my bloods are high or low, my memory's just awful. So yeah, I've got to keep my bloods like in line, but then I also don't want to keep them just normal because if I do a lot of activity, they can drop. So I don't want to obviously have a hypo in the ring. So it's got to find that real hard medium. But yeah, like it's doing me well up to now, so I was carry on doing what I'm doing.
Awesome. So the one thing obviously that I'm curious to know is it's a question for you both really is how did obviously you guys obviously become a tag team? Obviously the whole story. Rogan, I'll let you obviously start with this one.
So as you can probably imagine, while looking at these both screens, we happen to have some sort of resemblance. So yeah, the people at the time in charge of NGW also noticed this, and Reece was doing shows at the time, and Reece was approached with the idea, hey, what do you think of teaming up with Rogan? What do you think of giving this a go? Reece could have easily said, nah, I'm not interested. He could have easily said, nah, not for me. I'm doing my singles stuff. But Reece, to his credit, mad respect, he gave it a shot. And with us both looking like each other and both similar sizes, it somehow clicked almost straight away. It's weird. You can't teach chemistry, but we had chemistry almost straight away, I want to say. Structure-wise, in terms of wrestling, that maybe took a bit later, maybe came to us a bit later on. But in terms of being friends and being close, Reece has been almost like a legit big brother to me since first day I've met him. It's just the sort of individual he is, and you'll ask people like Hardman Dan, or you'll ask a person like Miles, or you'll ask other people like you'll have on here, and they'll all praise Reece for being a very giving person. So yeah, I don't want to get all mushy on you, but yeah, not enough nice things can be said about Reece. And so the long story short, mate, I went off there, did I? We looked like each other. The people in charge put us together, and it clicked.
There you go. Reece, what about obviously from your point of view with this?
Yeah, it's like Rogan said, like we're very similar people. We may look alike, but we're also very similar like in our personalities and things. Got the same kind of sense of humor. But yeah, like I was on shows, and obviously Rogan was coming through, so you can't really have two people on the same show look very similar together without putting them together, and that's kind of the option that we had. Yeah, I feel like we had a real good kind of chemistry. Be like when we very first got together. I feel like our friendship and chemistry have grown since then. And to be fair, like when I was a singles, I was just wrestler 101. If I'm totally honest, like I didn't have no real direction. But with me and Rogan, like being big fans of tag team wrestling before we're a tag team, like as you can tell if you've ever seen us live, we're massive mark for the Dudley Boys. We've watched Dudley Boys from being kids, watched Edge and Christian, we've watched the Hardy Boys. Like me and Rogan both have like a passion for tag team wrestling. Like there's a lot of people out there who their goal is to be world heavyweight champion of a promotion, but for us it's to be the tag team champions. Like that's our pinnacle kind of thing. So yeah, like keep doing what we're doing.
I'm so happy you said the Dudley Boys because that is probably one of my favorite tag teams as well.
Who wasn't? Who didn't like the Dudley Boys?
That kind of leads me obviously on to my next question is obviously tag team wrestling. A lot of people obviously do dig it. I'm a big massive fan of it, but what's your opinion obviously when it comes to tag team wrestling as a whole?
Go on, Rogan.
For me, tag team wrestling is a bit like a gimmick match. There is nothing else like it on the card. There is 4 people instead of 2. I mean, it might not sound like on the surface like, oh, there's nothing major about it. but there is so much more you can do with that. There's new levels of drama you can create. If there is 6 matches and 5 of them are singles matches, the tag has an opportunity to do something different. And like the Dudley Boys, for example, as you can tell, massive influence. Guys like Gordy and Williams in Japan. You can create a chaos, you can create an atmosphere that you can't necessarily create with singles matches. And because we look so much alike, your brain starts making up your own story. Are these brothers? Are they best friends? Are they henchmen? Your brain starts creating your own story just from the visual of these 2 people looking like each other. And also the referee. The referee can be a huge part of a tag match. Using the referee can get you so much heat, or it can get you so much cheers. It can build drama. Yeah, so my long story short, again, I keep giving massive answers here. You have to cut me off, mate. But my long story short is tag matches can create a different drama that a singles match can't.
Yeah, like Rogan said, a tag match in itself is a gimmick match. Like, it's so different from any other match on the card. You've got to make it different as well at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a great answer. So you've obviously worked with some great, obviously, tag teams. Is there any tag teams, obviously, in the UK scene right now you'd obviously like to work with, Reece?
Yeah, there's a couple of tag teams obviously down. We don't get to go down south very often, but there's a few tag teams down south. There's Smoking Aces, there's like Lycos Gym, tag teams like that. We worked True and Lacey at the weekend, who were really, really good. That was a new one for us. You put me on the spot now. I'm not good at thinking on the spot.
Don't worry about it. What about you, Rogan?
Yeah, I'm really surprised that we haven't worked Lycos Gym yet. Yet, I say yet because I don't know. I have a feeling. But yeah, I'm surprised we haven't worked Lycos Gym yet. It'd be a great clash of styles. I think at the moment, tag team wrestling is such a wide open market in British wrestling that the fact you can't think of a lot of teams off the top of your head is a problem. I feel like tag team wrestling is being overlooked, unfortunately, in my opinion. Instead of a flooded market, it's a wide open market. And I feel like a lot of people just don't want to take that risk of, hey, I want to put all my career and my potential peak years into a tag team. But from Man and Reese's point of view, honestly, just take the gamble. Tag team wrestling can be amazing. And because it's such a wide open market, promoters want it. Promoters, crowd want it. Fans want it. Yeah. So to answer your question, mate, I'll happily work just about any tag team on the scene. Like you say, Lycos Gym, that's probably up there. I would love, again, the opportunity to work Rampage Brown and Will Cruz. We've worked them before, but I feel like there's so much more left we can do with that. True and Lacey, who are killing it in Rev Pro and Progress. 2 young guys, incredible athletes. There is so much more we can do there. And Meat Wagon, or Synergy, however you want to call them, I feel like we're just going to end up working them every single weekend because we have that chemistry. It sells.
There you go. What about, obviously, outside the UK, Reece? Is there any tag teams which you watch and you think, I'd love to work with these? Obviously, like bigger companies like AEW and stuff.
Yeah, you put me on the spot again. I'm no good with names either. And there are a couple. I think they were called Bear Country. I think they're at AEW now. Like, I think us mixing that up, obviously the size of both teams, it'd just be a big hot scrap. So I'd love to work Bear Country. I can't remember. I apologise, but I can't remember what they're called now.
Now you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
Iron Savages.
There we go. That's the ones. Yeah,
Rogan, what about you?
Set up them guys.
Rogan, what about you?
For me, I would love to work the team of Gabe Kidd and I would love to work Gabe Kidd and is it Alex Coughlin? That's how you pronounce his second name. Killing it in Japan right now. Like Reece said, the Iron Savages, just big lads throwing bombs. Tag team like how can you not mention FTR? Everyone loves FTR. Can you imagine that? That would be like a dream come true. Tag team wrestling at the moment, then you have like people like you say AEW, so like Private Party, like their clash of styles with our Bruiser style would be a fun match. Because we're so like bruisers, I love the idea of working our opposites because of the clash of styles. There's so much you can do with that as a story and in terms of structure. Just yeah, I like working people who do stuff that we can't.
Yeah, and that's my favorite type of obviously tag team matches when it's different styles. It makes it, obviously dynamic and more unique. So I'm so obviously happy you said that. Stevie Aaron's obviously piped back up again. He says, I thought the lads' NGW match with Cruz and Myers last summer in Hull was very solid and worth seeing. Great heat and very traditional. Can't think of a better tag team match I saw live last year.
Stevie, man, why is Stevie been real nice? Why has he been so supportive, man? I'm not used to. Yeah, you're going to be our new manager, Stevie. Stevie going to be manager now. Managers. Yeah, I mean, it means a lot, Stevie. Honestly, the fact that someone that has seen so many matches, has been around so many years, thinks highly of us in that way, must mean we're doing something right. So honestly, it means a lot. Yeah, match meant a lot to us as well because Myers and Nathan trained us. They are the reason that we are doing this, the reason we know what we know, and the fact that they now look at us not as trainees but as their peers. Yeah, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Stevie Aaron says I can do a good cornet. Yeah, smiley face. Dear. What's it actually like backstage, by the way? I'm just curious.
Nice. You want about Stevie, right?
Yes.
No comment. No, I'm joking. Nah, he's a cool guy, Stevie. You get along with him really well. Yeah, there's I'm tripping over my own words now. Go on, Rogan.
Is it for us?
We're not having
Can you repeat the question, Matt?
Yeah, so I'm just saying what's Stevie Aaron like, obviously backstage?
He's a ball of energy. I mean, he's got a voice from him. That's the reason he's over the microphone, right? Yeah, you could say he reminds me of Jim Cornette in terms of personality and volume. 100%.
Oh dear. He's going to message me after saying, what you said that for?
Yeah.
Dear. So you've obviously mentioned NGW, BWR, and obviously North Wrestling. Is there any other promotions, Reece, you'd obviously like to work for in the UK?
Yeah, there's a lot of promotions, but obviously the pinnacle of British wrestling at the minute is Rev Pro. Like that's where you want to be when you're in British wrestling. I would love the opportunity to work Rev Pro. Whether that comes or not is a different story. But yeah, like when you work Rev Pro, you know you've kind of like you're doing a good job, kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay. Rogan?
Just going off the back of what Reece said, like at the moment, Rev Pro is probably up there because of their connections to like places like Japan. Our style is very HOS heavy. I mean, Japan would be pretty cool. Progress, I mean, I know Progress isn't like as big as it was in terms of like people talking about it and publicity and stuff, but it's still Progress, you know? It would still be cool to be like, hey, the show we used to watch as fans we're now featured on. And I feel like Progress still has the momentum. It just needs to keep pushing, you know? It just needs to keep being itself, its own unique entity, and it can get back to where it was. So yeah, I would love to be Rev Pro, Progress, them sort of places, because who wouldn't? You know, it's a big platform for your brand. But yeah, I would just like to keep getting out new places, pushing ourselves on the biggest stage that we possibly can, and to see if we can swim with the bigger names. Because again, I don't want to pat ourselves on the back, but we're only 4 weeks in now, and we've where the likes of Rampage Brown, Will Cruz, Robbie X. So I'd like to think that we would be able to swim with the bigger names, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this next question I've got is, now this is obviously going to be on YouTube, obviously in Canada and USA. So Rogan, why should people in other countries go check out Reece and Rogan? This is kind of like you guys kind of like promoting yourself to other countries.
Again, tag team wrestling is a wide open market. It's not just here in British wrestling, it's all over the world. And me and Reece, we aren't just two singles guys thrown together and calling ourselves a tag team. We are a tag team. That is what we do. We would happily rather have a tag team match than a singles match. Everything we do is with our tag team partner in mind. Everything we do, we're a unit, two working as one. Everything we do is to benefit our partner and bring it. And everything we do in terms of spots and structure, how can we turn something that's singles and make it into two people working as one? You think suplex, how can I make that me and Reece? Something basic. So yeah, for international people watching this, my pitch to you, why should you check out Reece and Rogan? It's because you'll be watching the definition of tag team wrestling.
Reece, take it away.
Can't top that, I don't think. Yeah, like Rogan said, we aren't just two singles guys we'll put together because there's nothing for us. We are a tag team. We work for each other. Everything I do is for Rogan at the same time. Rogan, everything does is for me. Like, we are a unit. Like, everything we do is for each other, not just for our individual selves. Like,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So I asked this question, obviously, a lot of people, and everybody's answer is different. Rogan, obviously, the British wrestling scene as a whole, I've said it for obviously quite a while. It's in a good place right now. Would you agree with that?
I would say right now, as we speak, not just in British wrestling, but all over the world, wrestling is currently in a boom period. It has never had as many eyes and money on it as it has now. You look at these bigger companies, they are bigger than they ever are. Contracts have been signed with streaming services and networks, bigger than it ever has before. I know the Attitude Era everyone loves the Attitude Era, but it wasn't making money like it was now. In terms of British wrestling, everyone thinks of Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks because they had TV. They had these appeal to the mass audience because they had a TV deal. But right now, in British wrestling, you see a guy like Leon Slayer, like Miles Kamen. How can you not say British wrestling is in a boom period? And then you have guys like Joseph Connors and Rampage Brown who have been doing it years and years and are still killing it and selling out arenas. There is more British companies now than ever before. Every single weekend there is a show because it's doing well. People like Stevie could tell you, like, he'll travel up and down the country, show after show, because there is that demand. So yes, to answer your question, mate, long story short, yes, we're in a boom period, and I am proud to be a small part of the boom period.
Okay. Reece, over to you.
So I think when COVID hit and everything shut down, since then, I think that this now is the biggest time for British wrestling. I think you've got your veterans who were carrying British wrestling, have carried British wrestling for so many years. But like Rogan said, you've also got the young lads like your Leon Slaters, like your Miles Kamens coming through, and they're hungry, man. They're hungry for success. They wanna match the veterans, if not do better than the veterans are doing. So yeah, I do think British wrestling is thriving at the minute, and I think it can only continue.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you just mentioned obviously lockdown there, and how did lockdown obviously affect you? Obviously, guys, obviously being a wrestler, did the training thing obviously affect your stuff like that, or was it just business as usual anyway? I'll start with Rogan.
For me, I can't speak for Reece, but there was a period at the beginning of lockdown. I don't know if you remember, and it's not necessarily a period I would like to talk about much here, but the speaking out movement, for example, was the beginning of lockdown. Me and Reece did pretty much hang up the boots. We was pretty much like, hey, we don't want to be a part of something like this because it was so seen as bad. You know what I mean? And I was at a family and stuff. So I don't want to delve too much into it. But yeah, at the beginning of lockdown, I didn't want to come back. I didn't want anything to do with British wrestling or wrestling as a whole. But speaking out was fantastic. Did some amazing things. Can't applaud the movement enough. But as lockdown went on and the hunger to perform and return to wrestling grew in everyone, and the people that was left in British wrestling, that hunger grew, and everyone was so supportive of each other. So yeah, beginning of lockdown, didn't want to come back. After like a year, it was like, okay, this could be better than ever before now, because everyone is supportive and there's no gatekeeping, there's none of this other bollocks. It's just people supporting each other. So yeah, beginning of lockdown, couldn't be asked for wrestling. At the end, never wanted more than to lace up the boots.
Awesome. Reece, over to you.
So for me, like personally as well, during lockdown, the week before everything shut down, I broke my ankle. So I was obviously in a cast for lockdown. So lockdown 1 didn't affect me as much as it affected other people. It was lockdown 2 where I was able-bodied again and I was raring to go, but you couldn't because nothing was open. So like just getting back into the ring, getting training again, getting in the gym was just amazing, man. It was felt like, yeah. So obviously I'm going off tangent here, but yeah, lockdown it could be quite depressing, and it was not a nice time to be around, kind of thing. But as soon as everything started to lift and we could get back in the ring, me and Rogan were chatting. This isn't a gimmick between me and Rogan. Me and Rogan are legit best friends, and we talk every single day. So other people were doing nothing during lockdown. We was chatting about how we can improve in the ring, how we can bring new gear, merch, everything we was chatting about. We was just wanting to list them boots up and get back in the ring again.
Awesome. So a few little more questions, obviously, to begin to wind down. Now, this question last week kind of stumped Miles, but what do fans not know about Reece and Rogan? Now, this can be wrestling related or personal related. It's entirely up to you guys. So, Rogan, I'll start with you.
I feel like people get the impression that because we're air quote henchmen, because we're the like heavies of a guy like Miles or wherever we go, like Morecambe, we're like also the heavies for their world champion. People get this impression that we can't talk, so we don't necessarily get the microphone. But over the last year, we've asked for mic time and the opportunity to speak. For example, was at North not long ago, and I got busted open, and I came backstage and I just said, like, can I have like a minute with the camera? And they just press record and let me rant. But yeah, people get this impression that we can't talk because we're henchmen. But I would like to think we're getting a lot better as talkers, and there is something there that is untapped that I believe if you give the microphone, we would be able to deliver. So yeah, the thing you don't know about Reece and Rogan is we can actually talk.
Dear Reece, what about you?
So yeah, I think you've stumped me a little bit here as well. Yeah, like, I'm not. I'm fairly open about most things. Like if I keep something from people, it's obviously for a reason. But yeah, like Rogan said, I think people think that we can't talk. Obviously, I get really, really nervous. Even just doing this podcast, I'm really nervous. But I feel like the more we do things, the more we get mic time, the more we get a camera time. We are growing with our promos. We're just talking about wrestling. But yeah, for me, I'm just very, very nervous around like talking. I don't know why. It's just a thing.
That's absolutely fine. No worries, guys.
Reece can floor it down a motorway and get us to a show in time.
Yeah, but the car splits the speeding tickets.
Did you actually get a speeding ticket for that one? In fact, don't answer that. Don't answer that. It's live.
We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
So, obviously, one more question, then we'll obviously get to the fan question, is what's the goal, obviously, for you guys? You've obviously mentioned, getting the BWR titles back. But what about, as overall, what's the goal for the rest of the year for you? Rogan, go ahead.
For me, 2023 was one of the biggest years for us. It was the biggest year. We held 3 titles in 3 different companies. We put more miles on Reece's car, bless it, than it ever has. We versed people that we thought we would never was able to hang with and hung. So for 2024, somehow, somewhere, I would like to top last year.
Okay, Reece.
Yeah, that's my goal as well. Like somehow we need to try and top 2023. I just want to work more places. I just want to work more of the stars and prove that we belong to be in a wrestling ring with these stars. Like, yeah.
There you go. There you go. So obviously, we'll get obviously the fan question, and this comes from Ben, so you can give him a shout out. It says, "How come you chose Handman Dan over Vucic for Yorkshire Tough?" Reece, take it away.
So obviously going back to my eye injury again, it was kind of like an opportunity that created itself. Like Vucic was is in a tag team with Miles at North, and obviously Rogan needed a partner, and with Hardman Dan being like our like shoot friend, like we kind of put him forward for it, and that's where it kind of came from. That's where the whole Yorkshire Tough came from. That's how a lot of opportunities come around in wrestling. It is just a spur of the moment thing. It's just been in the right place at the right time.
Okay, Rogan.
So, number one, I said that 2023 was one of our biggest years.
Mm-hmm.
It was also one of the biggest years for Hardman Dan. A lot of people hear the name Hardman Dan and they think he's funny, he must be a comedy guy. So he's recently changed his name to HMD. And honestly, behind the name, he truly is one of the most underrated performers in this country. And long after we've thrown away our boots, he'll still be killing it. He's going to be a star. And again, going back to us having one of the biggest years, every single time we left our house, 90% of the time he was with us in our car. Can I come in? Can I just join you in the car? Hey, I'm not booked. Can I just come and meet people? And that is why he's with us in Yorkshire Tough. It's not a gimmick. It's a shoot thing. We're three friends. We took him underneath our wing. Don't know who we are, but for whatever reason, he looks up to us. For whatever reason, he truly believes that we're someone, because we look at him and see the same thing. He's an equal. He's one of us as a friend, as a performer. Honestly, HMD is someone that you should not sleep on. Yorkshire Tough isn't a gimmick. It's a mindset. It's three people who want to see the person to the left and the person to the right do well. And if you like the Dudley Boys, I recommend checking out North, because we have these sweet custom jerseys that you might get a little influence from the Dudleys.
I've seen
You might even see a 3-man 3D one day.
I've seen it. It looks absolutely brilliant. Guys, this has been probably one of my most funniest chats ever. So one last thing to obviously do is, Rogan, is there anything you want to plug, my friend?
Yeah, you can check out our any merchandise at www.reeceandrogan.co.uk. Yeah, you don't have to. Even if you just want to have a browse, check it out. There's a lot of custom shirts from different artists. Highly recommend check it out. You don't have to buy anything. Just check it out. Also, we have a show in Morecambe on Saturday against Act 2. There'll be a title match. We'll return, because why wouldn't we? And yeah, I'd just like to say to you, Liam, thanks for having us, mate. It's been a pleasure. Even with the technical difficulties, it's been a laugh. Thank you to Stevie for your praise, and thank you to Reece for putting up with me for all them hours sat in the car while I wound him up.
Reece, I don't know if you've got anything to plug, because I think Rogan's just kind of plucked it all.
Yeah, I think Rogan pretty much did it. Yeah, but if you want to see any like clips of us or anything, check out our social medias, our Instagram, our Twitters. But yeah, like thank you for having us. It was good fun. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, of course. So the magic of wrestling, of course, back this Saturday is we're looking at wrestling theme songs. So to end the show, Rogan, what's your favorite wrestling theme song ever?
Kane, Slow Chemical, can't be it. Oh, Evolution. Evolution. Oh, what a vibe. What a vibe.
What about you, Reece?
Mine's either Evolution or Edge.
Oh, what a song, by the way. I'm so that Edge. The Alter Bridge one.
Yeah, that's the one.
There
it's
we
the
go.
only one, though, right?
Well, I don't know. You never know these days. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We'll see you all out. Bye, guys.
Thank you.